Thanks to everyone watching and letting me know about my audio issues. Okay, I must have touched my my girl Jamie's calling me. Jamie, you're on live. I know I just got your text. I think I should be I think my audio should be working now.
Okay, I'll text you if it is.
All right, thank you, girl. Shout out my girl Jamie BC.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Man, I love you guys. Thank you. So I'm actually live on. Oh, what's up, Jamie, Vanessa? Okay, my girl. Yeah, girl, it's a lot. Okay, so Cassie is on the stand again. This is day 2. Thank you, girl. Yeah, my mic was off because I'm a freaking blonde sometimes. But it's a lot to go through with this Diddy trial. Shout out to my girl Jamie Vanessa. Shout out for the chats. I love it. I love it. So I've been wanting to jump in on this. I've seen all these YouTubers talk about it. So I feel bad for Cassie. You know, it's day 2 and they haven't even gotten to P. Diddy questioning her. The latest updates right now, they are starting to kind of go into the physical portions of the relationship, meaning obviously most of us have seen the videotape of P. Diddy assaulting her, but she, beyond that, like there's so much other abuse that has taken place that she's never spoken about. But what the defense is going to try and do, and they're starting to kind of allude to that, is they're going to start saying that she is also physical. Like they're going to try and paint it like this was the dynamics of their relationship. And that's really unfair because I feel like a lot of people get put in a corner and you start getting used to the way someone treats you, and then that person starts rubbing off on you. And I'm not justifying her hitting him, but they're going to start talking about how she did just admit on the stand that she hit him. She got jealous about something and she actually hit him in the face, but there were never anything that it caused Diddy any injuries, you know, like. And she also said she was drunk. So, you know, let's just go into let's start, I guess. uh let's start with, you know, this trial's been going on all day, obviously. um this is the main guy. This is one of the main reporters that's inside Inner City Press. um so let's just start here. So okay, everybody came in and they just go right in on Cassie. um and so it says they remind her she's still under oath. This is day 2. So this is the prosecution. The AUSA is the attorney USA district. They're basically representing the United States. The case against Diddy, the USA, the United States of America, the entire country against Diddy. It's not like a little court where it's like you go pay this ticket because the city of Long Beach or LA wrote you a parking ticket. No, this is the whole freaking country. The entire country is suing your ass. Like, that's heavy. That's fucking a lot. I don't know how I would be able to deal with that. So, anyways, these representatives of the United States of America are, um, you know, starting to speak to Cassie. So again, this is day 2 for her. It seems like she's going to be on the stand all week. And that is I can't imagine how exhausting that is. She's 8 months pregnant. Hold on. I have way too many phones. Okay, so I need to put these things on mute. So as you can see here, so they started giving evidence, submitting evidence, and they're on these drives. And I guess Cassie handed these over because they're asking her what are on the drives, and she said messages and photos from my devices. So we have a witness waiting in the back. Produce them before the cross-examination starts. You can email me cases during the trial day. Let's get moving. Let's get Miss Ventura back. Witnesses entering, and the judge says welcome back. And let me just also click on this and make sure that this guy didn't Oh, okay. So he does kind of elaborate more about that conversation. So it says, yesterday you testified about Sean. She calls him Sean. She doesn't call him P. Diddy. Um, Yesterday you testified about Sean going armed to look for Suge Knight. Okay, so she's told the story about how one night P. Diddy dressed all in black and sh- she they were going to intend allegedly to harm, more than harm, Suge Knight, if you can connect the dots. So okay, so she's telling the courts about this. Sean took guns with him, and he told you to ask the escorts if they were cops. Let me make sure I got my chat up. If you guys want to chime in on this, please drop a chat. Um, it says he told you to ask the courts if they were cops. Yes, I would begin by saying I was not a cop. Um, Sean told you to do that? Yes. So what happened when you fought back? Okay, I wonder if this is, oh, okay, I should start from the bottom, I guess. Okay, this looks like it's kind of going up. So let me start all the way at the bottom. Um, I wish you would say on those devices are videos and images of celebrities like Justin Bieber, Usher, LeBron James, DJ Khaled, and others. I may like to say that Justin Bieber was drugged and underage in those images. I don't know who this girl is. Um, let's go ahead and play this. Okay, so yeah, they definitely want to ask open-ended questions, and it's a lot. It's a lot. She was with him for 10 years, and did testify that the abuse started in year 1, and she was only like 19. So, okay, so let's just read what this girl has to say. I'm not sure who this girl is. I'm not sure if she's inside. But it says Sean Diddy Combs trial day 2 was rather very explicit in details. Good thing his daughters did not show up today to court. Really, that was such a bad look for P. Diddy to allow his young minor daughters to be inside the courtroom yesterday and the day before, because this whole case is super graphic. So to have your daughters there is like, he should have just nixed that. But he's not thinking. He's only thinking about himself. It's obvious that's all he ever does, and it's really showing in his actions. So I don't think that's won him any points with the jury. I mean, I would think. I don't know. So was rather very explicit in details about the freak off parties that became a full-time job for Cassie Ventura. Yes, she did say it became a full-time job. And I think that people just fall into they call it the Stockholm syndrome, where you fall in love with your captor. And I think that's somewhat something that happened with Cassie. Okay, so it became a full-time job for Cassie during their 10-year relationship. Freak offs happened 4 times a week, lasting up to 10-hour days, with multiple escorts, and remaining 3 days of the week were for recovery of injuries sustained during these parties. It's like, where was her family at? If I was dating a man and you're so like wrapped up in his world at 19 years old, like, I have a son who has a girlfriend. There is no way he would disappear on me for days on end. So I don't know where her family was at this time. Like, or maybe it's one of those things like with R. Kelly where, a lot of young girls did fall victim to R. Kelly because he sadly was paying. I know a lot of this does have to do with money. I don't know if that's the case with the Cassie. You know, was her family kind of starstruck and kind of you just take a blind eye. Also she's an artist, she's in the entertainment industry, they assume she's working, and such a gray area in the entertainment industry, like what artists do to move ahead in the career. You have to be provocative in the entertainment industry, you have to have sex appeal, and that just spills over into your personal life a lot of times. And so I don't know if that's what kind of kept people, or her family. Again, I don't know who her family is. I don't know where they are. As far as I know, the family she has inside the courtroom is her husband, now husband. But from the beginning, when this was going on, she wasn't married. So, it's just who knows where her family was. So it was very graphic. At this trial is not televised. You have to read multiple news sources whose journalists are inside the court to get the full picture, what is being discussed during the trial. I have been watching The Surprise Witness. I do like her, what she does. Shout out to her. She's been actually live streaming from morning to night on these things, which is crazy. It's hard to do. So below, Ken explains what direct examination is versus cross examination. So right now she has the prosecution questioning her. In a normal case where in my opinion, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but when you're questioning a person on the stand, if you're the prosecution and they're on your side, you're going to question them in a more delicate manner. Well, in this case, and then if you're on the flip side, you're going to cross examine them in a more probably aggressive way. You're going to try and trip them up. You're going to talk to them very fast. But you're questioning someone who is 8 months pregnant, and they have to be very sensitive to that, how that's going to look to the jury. They can't come at her hard. As much as P. Diddy probably wants to be like, you know what, she's violent, she's this and that, she liked it. She's 8 months pregnant. So she's got definitely a force field of protectiveness, I think, that is around her. And I think that's good. So good for Cassie. And very brave of her again to step up. She didn't, in my opinion, she didn't have to be a part of this case. She already sued Diddy and got a life-changing settlement. No one knows. I don't think anyone knows how much her settlement was, but it was, I mean, let me see if I can find out. How much was Cassie's settlement with Diddy? Let's see how much. Okay, so it was not publicly disclosed, but it was definitely an 8-figure settlement. So what's 8 figures? 6 figures? Damn, 6 figures is no, 6 figures is a million. So 8 figures is like 100 million. I don't know. It's a lot. So her coming back and getting on the stand just for the sake of voicing what she went through and putting herself through all of this again, she's doing it to make sure this guy does not get out of prison. She's not doing it for the money. And that's actually more weight for someone, in my opinion, to step up and go on the stand and do that. Like, that's just showing, this guy's he's a bad guy. So, okay, so let's go back to the beginning of the inner city press. Let's see. Let's just try and go through this really quick. And Cassie is victim 1. So they're literally just on victim 1, and there's so much stuff that's coming out. I mean, a lot of these things, like, we could all assume. Yeah, Jamie, you feel sorry for her. I mean, she's definitely gonna need, like, who knows what's gonna happen after this case is over. She's definitely gonna need a long vacation. I mean, she's gonna have a baby like next month. So I'm sure she's gonna feel like she's gonna be at peace, I'm sure, as she did what she could to keep this man behind bars. And hopefully she's gonna go enjoy her family, she doesn't have to look over her shoulder anymore. um she doesn't have to worry about someone finding her, like, so she's doing this for her, and hopefully she gets peace after this. So, okay, this is 24 minutes ago. How did that happen? Okay. Hopefully I'm reading this right. Is it possible to take a break? Okay, Miss Johnson. Okay, they're back. Okay, 3:09 p.m. Okay, fuck. I don't know if this is going up or down because 3:09 p.m. is New York time right now. Okay, so we are going to start from the top. Okay, so they're talking about Suge Knight, and how she witnessed Sean dressing all in black with the gun, looking for Suge Knight. I really want to know more about that because that's really the only details I caught about what happened. So let me see if we can find out about that. Cassie, Suge Knight, P. Diddy. Suge Knight's hip hop beef with Diddy resurfaces in Cassie Ventura's trial. Okay, so this is what she testified about what happened with Suge Knight yesterday when Cassie Ventura was on the stand at the P. Diddy trial. So hopefully they'll say what she said. So Cassie referenced the music mogul's long-standing feud, and this is going back to Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. And this is why I feel like even though Diddy isn't getting charged for that role, what's done in the dark comes to light. So maybe this is karma coming back to fix this shit, because we lost two of the biggest, greatest hip hop rappers in the industry, and I've never doubted P. Diddy has a hand in this. So let me see what Cassie said about Suge Knight. So Ventura Fine testified that Combs left his house amid one freak off in Los Angeles after being tipped off by a bodyguard that Knight was at a diner nearby. Freak offs are a type of party. Yeah, you guys know that. At the time of Combs' departure, Ventura Fine says she told Combs, "Please don't do anything stupid," as she screamed and cried in fear. Knight also faced his fair share of legal woes. Okay, yeah. So is that it? Is that the only thing she said about that night? Anyone out there who want to be a recording artist, want to stay a star and don't have to worry about being all in the videos, all in the. I don't know if you guys remember, Suge Knight showed up to the MTV Awards. This is basically what he said. He was like, "If you want to be a producer, you'd be all up in the videos." That's the quote that they're using. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't really elaborate on what she actually said, but okay, they're kind of bringing it up again today on the stand, and then they changed this topic. So, what happened when you fought back? I did that more earlier in the relationship. It would make him more violent, want to push me harder. Objection to the speculation. So the defense, P. Diddy's side, is objecting to the speculation. They're saying it's speculation. I don't think it's speculation, because a lot of the objections I noticed, they say, they call it hearsay, but that doesn't apply when you are asking the person directly who was directly involved. If it's someone like his security saying like, "Oh, I was there in the room," That's more hearsay, even though he was a witness, which this is an incident that directly involves and includes her. So okay. So the judge overruled it. So that's good. So the attorney prosecutor asks, how would Sean react if you fought back? And Cassie says, anger. So the prosecution says, I'm going to show you the LA Intercontinental hallway again. This is the footage everyone has seen of P. Diddy assaulting Cassie in the hotel, Intercontinental. So he's playing that for the jury. We've all seen this video right here. You know, video shows Sean Diddy Combs physically assaulting. You know, if you guys need a refresher on that. Oh, damn, this freaking ad. It's a long ass ad too. Okay, we've all seen the video, right? You guys know what that looks like. So, okay, so let's go back to Inner City Press. Okay, so so he shows that video again. Who enters? Sean, what's in his hand? He doesn't appear to have anything. Play now, anything in his hand? My phone. And they're saying that's why Diddy got so mad that day. Cassie was leaving with her phone, and he was super controlling. How did he get it? Well, he took all my stuff. Where does he end up? Sitting in a chair in front of the window. What are you doing? I'm walking away from him. So yesterday they were questioning P. Diddy and P. Diddy's, I think the security guard. I don't want to mess this up. I'll go back to that. I don't want to say something that's wrong, but the security guard that was in the hotel at the time that actually came to check on the incident did say that P. Diddy handed him a stack of cash that could fit in between your thumb and your pinky, which was basically $100K, to not say anything. And the guard said, I took this as a bribe and I did not accept it. And he says he did not accept it, and he pinned Diddy against the wall. So he was like, fuck you, Diddy, you can't fucking buy me. And he actually pinned him against the wall. So how did he get it? He took all my stuff. So now who's in the video? Me and the security. So this is the security guard that actually got called up to check about this incident. And this one play from 5:31. Where did you go from the hotel? To my house. I took an Uber. Now let's turn to text messages. Can you read page 4? Please call. I'm surrounded. Who sent that? From Sean. He was running around in a towel. I told him to put the robe on. The prosecutor says, who sent these green messages? Cassie says, I did. I wrote to Sean. Jules left. As long as you're quiet, you can stay. Peace. I did. I wrote to Sean. Jules left. As long as you're quiet, you can stay. Oh, so the prosecutor says, who was Jules? And Cassie says, an escort. And then the prosecution shows, is this Jules? Photo shown, big smile. So I guess the escort has a big smile on his face. Oh, let me see if I can pull this chat out. So anyways. Oh, shit. Let me play your guys's. If you guys want to chat, you guys will be, hopefully you guys can see that on the screen. Okay, hold on. What happened to my tweets? Why did I click that? Okay, here it is. Okay. So the prosecutor says B 606, 607, side by side, Cassie's and big sunglasses. So we cannot obviously see these images. Public's not allowed inside the courtroom. I don't even know. Some of these images are so graphic, they're not even displaying them. Even if you are in the courtroom, they're not even showing them. They're only showing them to the jury. And they're actually tweeting about what the jury's reactions are, and they're very appalled. Like a lot of the descriptions is like they're like gasping. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Let me see if I can put the chat up. I tried to put it on the screen. Let me see. How do I do that? I thought that's what I was doing. No, it shouldn't be private chat. Chat. Fuck. How do I do that? I'm trying to show. I knew how to do this before, but it's been a while since I've been using this. Yeah, hopefully you guys can see the chat now. I don't know if that layout works. I don't know. Hopefully that works. Sorry, I don't use this software very often. I'm really trying to get used to it. And live streaming is definitely a freaking process. Design. Let me see. Chat. Oh, show. There we go. Jamie said 2 people are in here. 4. There's 4 people now. But thank you, Jamie. Okay. Okay, let's see. Jamie, I feel sorry for her. Okay. Yes, definitely. She's gone through a lot. And imagine the trauma, 10 years of your life that you've committed and have what I'm thinking is Stockholm syndrome, where you cannot leave your abuser. Also, being thrust in the limelight. I mean, there's so many photographs we've seen of Cassie and Diddy out together smiling, and then come to find out there's pictures that she's got makeup covering her bruises throughout the entire time. It's just really creepy. I guess they showed a video too of so the other thing is they're trying to say TMZ is actually somewhat being used by P. Diddy. TMZ, one of the biggest media outlets online. There is a PR lady that is in the courtroom right now on P. Diddy's side. It's a lady. She was seen having lunch with TMZ. And then all of a sudden, TMZ has put on their website, they're blasting about Cassie being violent. So they're doing their part to kind of, maybe they're trying, who knows, maybe they're trying to be like non-biased, but they are also putting things out there about Cassie that are kind of trying to. Okay, so full Cassie hotel video released 15 minutes unedited. We're now seeing the full unedited 15-minute long video of Sean Combs assaulting Cassie in a hotel. Damn, that's a long video, 15 minutes. And so there is no audio, and she looks barefoot, which is crazy. Who the hell walks out barefoot? I mean, only if you're freaking, oh, there she goes. She's putting her shoes on. I was gonna say only if you're in a hurry, right? And maybe it looks like she was trying to be quiet. That's probably why she didn't have shoes on. She's literally probably trying to sneak out. And I think that's a Kanye West sweater. Damn. Okay, so the other thing is they're saying of the video, it was sped up. And the defense is also saying that they did that to make him look more violent. But if this is normal speed, unedited, I would be pissed if somebody did that. Imagine, you wouldn't let someone do that to you. I wouldn't care if that was my lover. If some guy kicked me, I would. Does she try and go down the elevator? I think she said that she didn't at this time because he took her phone. Okay, so this is when she calls the security. So he thought he could take her stuff and so she couldn't leave. Like, I got your stuff. And that does put you in a like kind of a hard position if you have your, you could think about it like, oh, just get out of there, just leave. But someone has your purse, your clothes, who knows what, your ID, your debit card. You kind of have to figure out, how do you get your stuff back so you can actually get out of there. He looks pissed. I've never seen that. I've only watched like the clip, but damn, he looks mad. Oh, so he grabbed her phone. He took her phone. So this new video. Oh, look, you could see him in the mirror. What did he throw at her? So this is when he thought he could pay the security guard $100K because she reaches someone on the hotel phone. That's like for the building, right? That's like for concierge. If you guys are here, please subscribe to my channel if you're on YouTube. This channel is not monetized. I'm doing this for fun, but I would love to get it so I could do this more often. So please like, share, and subscribe. Oh my God. She looks very scared. I mean, you're putting your hand up like you're expecting him to hit you again, right? That's like learned behavior. That's like shit that she's gone through before. But so yeah, I am here to cover the case. I didn't get to do it yesterday, but I've been keeping up with some other YouTubers that are doing it, and it's just so much. And this is literally day three, witness one, and the defense for Diddy is they're trying to say this was a mutual fucked up relationship, like basically two people that are both fucked in the head, essentially. And in it, I mean, it's an abusive relationship, but Diddy's defense is trying to say that they both assaulted each other. So in doing that, this just is kind of just showing the dynamics of the relationship. It was mutual. This was mutual. So this doesn't show him, this wouldn't play into the Rico sex trafficking charge because he's not being charged with assaulting, right? He's being charged with sex trafficking. And the defense is trying to say this is just how the relationship was. This was mutual and consensual. I mean, yeah, you can get stuck in a cycle of abuse, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going along with it. It means that you're scared to leave. That's what happens to when you're in an abusive relationship. And again, it goes back to Stockholm syndrome. Like, you start falling in love with your abuser. Like, that's a real actual syndrome. So I think that's what went on because she stayed with him for 10 years. But also what would he do? There's so many bodies around Diddy, his ex-wife, BIG. I cannot wait till Kim Porter, his ex-wife, the mother of his twin girls, she had a child before she met P. Diddy, Justin Combs, who Diddy adopted. The child is from the 80s R&B singer Al B. Sure. Al B. Sure is going to testify in this trial, and he hates P. Diddy. And he has made it known that he thinks P. Diddy has something to do with the unaliving of his baby's mother, Kim Porter, the mother of the twin girls P. Diddy has, who passed away suddenly at a very young age in her 40s, unexpectedly, from pneumonia. So he's a dangerous person. And a lot of times it's better to keep your enemies close, you know? So, okay, so it says this video was released Tuesday night after the second day of testimony in Diddy's federal sex trafficking trial in New York City. Okay, so this is the security guard that P. Diddy tried to pay off, but the guy did not take the bribe, which is like, and they're saying the reason this video got leaked is because of him, because he originally filmed this video from the security cam on his cell phone and showed his wife. So that's how the video initially got leaked, was because of the security guard. The security guard testified to that. I think he's telling him to, he was on the side of Cassie. And I think he said that he developed a friendship with Cassie. And he was basically telling Diddy, like, he was on Cassie's side. I wonder what he's telling him. I'm drinking a protein shake. I went to the gym, so. Okay, and then what? And then what? And then what? Oh, so Cassie comes back. I wonder how they got this unedited clip, because I had heard a story that CNN owned the rights for some reason and they deleted the original video, which is like crazy. Like, why would you do that? But goes to show you, once it's on the internet, that shit will never go away. I think she's probably trying to get her stuff. That's why she goes back. Come on, can we do a speed? Oh yeah. Oh shit. I can't speed it up, or else I would. Okay, so then what happens? Okay, so she got her stuff. She got her stuff. Good for Cassie. She got her stuff. She was like, fuck this guy. Give me my shit, motherfucker. I'm fucking out. All right, Cassie. She got her shit. Okay, so then what happens? Yeah, so he was more worried about Cassie. So that makes sense. Like he was like, all right, Cassie's out, so he follows Cassie. Oh, I don't know where he's going now. Okay, there he goes. Goes to stay by Cassie's side. And P. Diddy's still walking around in a robe. Like, what the fuck? I mean, a towel. Like, dude, put some pants on. Like, you don't got no fucking sweatpants. Like, he don't have time to even put clothes on. This is how freaky this guy is. Dude, like, the security guard has come to your room and you don't have the decency to like put some fucking underwear on. He's probably trying to get with the security guard. Okay, so then what happens? So Cassie's still there, it looks like. Why does she go back? So I don't know who those people are. Looks like they're pushing in a big trash can. Jamie. Right? He's like, because he's got a type. They keep saying like the escorts, all he wanted was a big BBC. That was the requirement. They said that the pictures they're showing of the escorts he chose were totally normal looking people with BBC. Like if they had big B, you know what? They checked the boxes and they could stay. So that was what he was into. Like, so, whatever, he could be into that, but that's what he looked for in an escort. Um, so okay, so Cassie came back. Oh my God, was that this? I thought she was gonna leave. Why did the security guard leave her? So he took her shit again after she just got it out of the room. This is like some kidnap. He should get charged with kidnapping. Like, if you don't let someone out of your like possession, that's kidnapping. Damn, she goes, oh my God. She doesn't leave? I thought she got to leave. I wonder why the angle changed on this video. It says this is at 11 a.m. Okay, so there's a security guard. Where did he go that he just let her drag her again? This is 11:19, so she sees the security guard. So it's like she probably tried to go back and get her stuff again. 11:23. Okay, so she got her stuff. She had to get it twice. Each time when the security guard was in the room. And okay, I think she finally gets out. But damn, that guy is fucking like controlling as hell. Yeah, CNN destroys video of Diddy beating Cassie. So I don't know how they got that video again, but whatever. Okay, so I never seen the full version. That was really crazy. Well, let's go back. So this is okay. So the prosecution is showing Cassie the escorts, and she said, and he said, "Is this Jules?" She said, "Yes, that's me. A selfie of me with a fat lip." The prosecution says, "When did you take it?" Cassie says, "In the Uber with one of my phones." Um, and then the prosecution says, "What did you write here?" Cassie says, "I said, please stay away from me." The prosecution says, "What does he say?" And Cassie says, "He says, I'm getting arrested." Prosecution, oh, prosecution says, "Was he?" Cassie says, "I don't think so." Prosecution says, "What did you write back?" Cassie says, "Plugging my phone in and going to bed." So he says, "I'm getting arrested." And she was like, "That's nice. I'm going to go to sleep." So this was you know, a crazy relationship where you're just so used to the emotional abuse that the shit don't phase you after a while. So the prosecution says, who was at your home when you got there? Um, Cassie says, Carrie Morgan. She was upset when she saw me. She called the police. Prosecution says, did you speak with them? Cassie says, yes, but I didn't say who I was talking about, and they left. The prosecution says, why? Cassie says, I wasn't ready. Prosecution says, did Sean try to come to your apartment? Cassie says, yes, he was banging. That was pretty normal for him. See, she's used to the chaos. But this is a pretty private building. The prosecution says, did you hear from Miss Coran that day? Cassie says, yes, and I went to see D-Rock and his wife to try to feel safe. Okay, who is D-Rock? D-Rock, Diddy. Okay, I'm not sure who D-Rock is. I've heard that name before, but I don't know who he is right now. Okay. So, okay, prosecution says, in this photo, what are you wearing? Cassie says, a gown and sunglasses. I had a black eye. Prosecution says, what, if any, other bruisings were available or visible? Cassie says, I had several bruises on my leg, but I changed clothes. Prosecution says, what's this? Cassie says, me and Sean at an after party. Prosecution says, I'm going to show you escorts. Do you know the name of this person? Cassie says, no. Prosecution says, in what cities did you use him? Cassie says, New York. Prosecution says, who's this? Cassie says, Ventura, or Islander. He was on Latin Men. We used him in LA and maybe Vegas. So Diddy was just, he had a Rolodex of guys for Cassie. And I don't think she got to choose. I think they said she wanted it. Your head just gets so messed up that you start like engaging, and then just to feel a little bit of control. I think Cassie tried to choose just to, even though she didn't want to do it, like she was like, fuck, if I have to do this, like maybe I should, if I'm the one participating in this, I should have a say in who I'm going to do this with, and the other thing is he didn't let her use protection. Like that's not cool. So the prosecution says, who's this? 2A616. Cassie says, we called him Tommy. Prosecution says, who is this? I know him as Greg, an escort in Miami. Prosecution says, who's this? Jonathan. We saw him in Miami. So I think Jonathan is the Jonathan Odie guy. Who's the guy that people didn't believe initially that, yeah, he claimed he was Diddy's sex slave for Cassie. So I think she's talking about him. Jonathan, because Jonathan knew them in Miami. So the fact that she's saying she saw him in Miami. Prosecution says, who's this? Red baseball cap backwards. Cassie says, I don't know. He looks familiar from the freak offs. Prosecution says, what did you write here? Cassie, this is all we do. I'm just getting back on track. I'm sure you can call Kim or something. Prosecution says, what did you mean this is all we do? Cassie says, freak offs. This girl literally was put through I guess they're not trains, but scene after scene, because Diddy was directing all of this stuff and filming it. So basically scene after scene for the course of years. So she said, literally that was her job. And like she said, she did say that was her job. That was her livelihood. It became her livelihood. He took care of her financially, but she had to do it because of all of, you know, not wanting to get ultimately punished in whatever capabilities P. Diddy has. Prosecution, did you try to avoid anything in the freak-offs? Cassie, I try to avoid kissing. It seems too intimate, but Sean told me to do it to kiss the escorts. Ugh. Prosecution, what did Sean ask you to do on your 29th birthday? A freak off. Like everything, all roads lead to freak offs. What did you do on March 21st? A freak off. What did you do on May 21st? A freak off. All roads lead to freak offs. Cassie, he had me pulled out of the Blind Dragon for the freak off, some security. So I think the Blind Dragon was it's probably a production. So the poor girl couldn't even work. Well, it says it's a club. He had me pulled out of the Blind Dragon. Okay, yeah, that's a club in LA apparently. Okay, so some security. What about blackmail material? He wanted me to fear. Objection. Overruled. So Diddy's side lawyer team finally says something, but the judge says denied. And the prosecution says, when would Sean mention the freak off videos? And Cassie says to hurt me. I don't know why they changed from Ventura to A, but I think it's because this guy's tweeting and he's just like short tweeting really quick. I don't know. A stands for, I'm not sure what A stands for. So Cassie says, one time I was dating someone else and he threatened to release the freak off videos. That's revenge porn. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that shit. Should not have said that word. I'd have to answer to my mother. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone. Prosecution, what did Sean say the impact would be? Cassie says shame. Yep, definitely shame unless you're Kim Kardashian. Prosecution, let me show you a chat. Who's on it? Cassie says, me and Sean, July 22nd, 2013. That's 12 years ago. Prosecution, read your message. Cassie says, I wrote, please delete the videos off of your phone. Too many people have access to your devices. He said, no iCloud, all good, Ambien kicking in. So he was about to take a sleeping pill. So the prosecution does a sidebar. Okay, so then the judge has taken a break to change some things in the courtroom. During the break, P. Diddy sits at the defense table. His lawyer, Xavier Donaldson, leaning down to speak to him. So the prosecution attorney, Johnson, says there's still some issues with the privacy screens, so we'll put that off and do something else now. So they are protecting imagery from the public. There's people inside of the courtroom that they are not able to see the images. Only the jury is being shown the graphic images. So I think they're talking about like they're still working on like how to block some of these things. So the judge says, okay, welcome back, Miss Ventura. Okay, so this was after their first break, which was the lunch break. Or no, maybe it was just a mid-morning break because this was 4 hours ago. And they're 3 hours ahead. So it's almost 4. They're going to, this day's almost going to wrap already. But Cassie has been on the stand since yesterday. When Diddy goes up to Diddy's team goes up to cross-examine her, they're going to have to be super delicate with her, which is not the norm. Usually when you're cross-examining a witness that is on the other team side, you go in on them. They can't do that. She's 8 months pregnant. She's just suffered so much abuse at the hands of him. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see how P. Diddy's team actually approaches her when they start questioning her, when they get to that. Right now, it's only the prosecution asking Cassie questions. Okay, so they came back. I've been told that, so Cassie says, so the jury comes back in, and the prosecution has more exhibits. The prosecution says, "What did you say here?" So I think they're showing her text messages. Cassie says, "I've been told there was a sexually explicit video out there about me. I reached out to Sean." The prosecution says, "Then what?" Cassie says, "We were driving back from NYC, from New York to Atlantic City to talk to this DJ Who kid." Prosecution says, "Did that happen?" Cassie says, "At a restaurant." Prosecution says, "What was security's role?" Cassie says, "To intimidate. They were lining the room." Prosecution says, "Who was there?" Uncle Paulie James Cruz. So P. Diddy put out a post. We're going to find out who this James Cruz is, but all of this testimony is damning. Like, I mean, all of the witnesses, they got a lot to say. So let me pull up. I thought this was crazy. P. Diddy be chiming in on shit. And P. Diddy actually has his own, oh, not P. Diddy, I'm sorry, 50 Cent. 50 Cent has his own freaking documentary he's working on about this. I don't know. I don't think it's out yet, but so P. Diddy posted, where was it? He posted something about that guy, and he said that when this guy gets on the stand, it's going to be all bad. But yeah, you could see he's definitely putting in his 2 cents about the trial. But he said something about this guy, Jay Cruz. Fuck, I don't know where it's at. That sucks. I know he didn't put that many posts out since then. Let me see if he put anything on his stories. No, just a reel. Okay. So yeah, 50 Cent was saying something that when this guy, James Cruz, starts talking, it's going to be bad. It's going to be all bad. Maybe it was on here. No. I want to find that post. He definitely posted about this guy. Let me see. Maybe it was this one. God, I didn't know 50 Cent has so many freaking accounts. Why did he delete that post? Because he definitely said something about him. Where is it? Maybe it was this. No. Damn, he did all this shit to go out like this. Shaking my head. This shit gets crazier than regular crazy. For real. I want to see that post. Okay, I don't know which. I feel like he deleted it, which is interesting. I wonder why he deleted it. But okay, so yeah, this guy James Cruz, when he gets on the stand, watch out, guys. It's supposed to be on another whole nother level, according to 50 Cent. So prosecution says, "How would you recover from a freak off?" "I would take opiates. I wanted to feel numb. We'd get massages, IV fluids. The chef would cook us something." Prosecution, "How did you take opiates after freak offs?" "Often." "How often?" "I got urinary tract infections." Prosecution says, "Were the UTIs painful?" Cassie says, "Very. Antibacterials didn't work anymore." Prosecution says, how did it feel during freak-offs? Cassie says, burning. I would not advise it. Prosecution says, read this out loud. Ooh, Cassie says, I have all these sores on my tongue. Ugh, I have another UTI. Fuck that. Prosecution says, what sores? Cassie says, friction in my mouth. From what? Oral sex. She said, prosecution says, you said another UTI, then sad face emoji. Cassie says, I was open with him about them. Prosecution says, so you feel sick. Cassie says, why are you sorry? I took the blame for things. Oh shit. So Cassie was like not trying to make him not even feel guilty about it. Like, oh, it's not your fault. Like, what the fuck? Prosecution says, which escorts would go to sex clubs with you and Sean? Cassie says, Jules. Prosecution. Oh my God, right? That's crazy oh my God, it's not easy to be a girl and like to have this man like just think that he could do whatever he wants to you and you're going through all that. Fuck that. But again, she's in a cycle of abuse. You can't see very when you're in a bubble like that, that's your world, and it's got to be a lot to try and escape that. So which escort would go to the sex clubs with you and Sean? Cassie says Jules. Prosecution says the escort from the Intercontinental in LA. Cassie says yes. Prosecution says, did you want to have sex with Jules ever? Cassie says no, but I knew him. Prosecution says, why did you do it? Cassie says, Sean, P. Diddy. Prosecution says, who was present when Sean put his hands on you at freak-offs? Cassie says, sometimes the escorts were there too. Prosecution says, in the same room. Cassie says, yes, Jules. Prosecution in the suite. Cassie says, yes. Prosecution says, were they aware? Defense objects. Judge says, overruled. And Cassie says, yes, they were aware. So Cassie says the escorts would ask me if I was okay afterward. Prosecution says, in what cities did he put his hands on you? Cassie's like, New York, LA, Miami. Prosecution says, how frequently? Cassie says, too frequently. Prosecution says, what about the Abbey? What's the Abbey? Cassie says, a gay club in LA. I went there with my friend. Prosecution says, where were you going? Cassie says, to a music festival in Canada run by Drake. Sean came to my home and tried to attack me. I was thrown into the bed frame. So, did you guys hear that P. Diddy slapped Drake? I guess this is like a running joke. I mean, up until now. I mean, because it sounds funny, right? Like you're like, oh shit, P. Diddy slapped Drake. Like that sounds funny. And it's not even like he hit him, like he slapped him. Apparently, this is true. And I don't know why. What's up, Goodwill? Nice to see you. Thank you for watching. I'm back. I've been trying to jump on live again. I've just had so much BS going on in my life, but I am here and there's so much happening with the Diddy trial that it's just freaking overload, like information. Like it's a crazy trial and this is literally day 3. So, but thank you for being here and watching. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We were talking about like Cassie going to Drake's concert, and I was talking about how I heard that Diddy actually slapped Drake, and I did Google that, and that they say it happened, but they don't know like when it happened, or no one has footage. Diddy slaps Drake. See, yeah, no one has footage of this event. So what the fuck? Where's my internet? There's a widely circulated, oh my God. There's a widely circulated story supported by, oh no, what's going on with my internet? Okay, whatever. At least I still got my tweets. I don't know why my Google isn't working. Okay, so Cassie went to a music fest in Canada run by Drake. I just always wonder why Diddy slapped Drake. And I don't mean to laugh at that, but I want to know why. Um, Sean came to my home and tried to attack me. I was thrown into the bed frame. Prosecution says, "What's this?" Cassie says, "A photo of my eye afterward." Cassie says, or prosecution says, "Who took you to the doctor?" Cassie says, D-Rock. I'm not sure who D-Rock is either. I think D-Rock was actually one of P. Diddy's. It sounds like he was one of P. Diddy's security guards because he was kind of always around. And we know there was staff around that witnessed a lot of this stuff. So prosecution, did you send this photo to Sean? Cassie says yes, and I wrote so you can remember. I wanted him to be sorry about it at least. See, people like this, they don't have consciences. I think that's how you say it. And it sucks because the people that's taking on the abuse, you always think the logic you have in your brain, and another person will have that logic, and they don't. People just think so differently, and people are fucked up. And so she's trying to get him to feel sorry for the pain that he's causing her, and it just sucks because she's not going to get that sympathy from her abuser. And so the prosecution says, "Who's in this photo? Where were you?" Cassie says, "In the green room in Toronto. I put my hair over my eye. Then we went to the Hamptons." Cassie says, "Sean wanted to have a freak off in the Hamptons." Of course he did, because everything ends in a freak off with Diddy. Anything they did, it's like, and then Diddy wanted to have a freak off. Like this guy, this poor girl, like there was no normalcy in this relationship at all. Sean wanted to have a freak off in the Hamptons. We got a hotel and an escort. Damn. Just some random person. You go to the Hamptons. Where do you even get these random ass escorts in a different freaking state, city? Like, who's your go-to to freaking hook that up, man? Like, how the hell do you know who to call in all these other cities, different cities? I'm like, for for this kind of service. That's crazy. Okay, so the prosecution says, which hotel? Oh, we got a hotel and an escort. Prosecution says which one? Cassie says Dave. I took GHB. GHB. I went into a G hole and blacked out. I woke up nude in the shower. Dave and Sean were freaking out. I bugged out. Wasn't pretty. Damn. So she almost overdosed, it sounds like. That's fucked up. Prosecution. Then what? Cassie, I spoke to a friend of Sean's and then we had a freak off. Every other word is like, man, if this was a drinking game, you would be so drunk, passed out on the floor right now. If every time you had to take a shot when you heard freak off. A prosecution, what's this? Cassie says my eyebrow healed up a little bit. A week later, I have a permanent scar on my eyebrow. Cassie, a prosecution, what's this? Me at the Cannes Festival. I think the Cannes Festival is happening right now, matter of fact, too. Prosecution says, what happened at Cannes? Cassie says, Sean accused me of taking drugs from his boat. He threw me off, but my passport was still on the boat. See, that's what I mean. When he took her stuff in the hotel room, she couldn't leave because he still had her ID and stuff like that. You really can't just walk away, right? He was very controlling. So kind of like this, he throws her off the boat. She doesn't even have a passport. Kansas in France. Like you're dealing with intercontinental police. Like it doesn't matter who you are. You need identification in these foreign countries. So prosecution says, and you were on the red carpet that same night. Cassie says yes. Prosecution, did you attend the movie? It is a film fest. Cassie says yes. Cannes is the number one film fest in the world. Prosecution says, how did you get back to New York? Yeah, how did you get back to New York? How did you leave the state of France without a passport? Cassie, on a commercial flight, I traded my seat to get away, but he traded to get next to me. So she didn't even want to sit next to him on the plane. Like, I guess she got her passport back, but she did not want to sit next to him. Prosecution says, what did he show you? Um, um, of course, freak off videos. Like, this is the only thing on this man's mind. Like, fuck, who thinks about boning escorts this much? Like, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Like, damn. Like, are you serious? Okay, so he showed me some freak off videos. He played them for me on one of his laptops. He said he'd release them. Oh shit. So he's showing her videos of herself. Super intimidating. Prosecution, how did you feel? Cassie says, I felt trapped. Or she says, trapped. Prosecution, when you landed in New York, what did you do? Cassie, we went to dinner. Then he wanted to have a freak off. Didn't he just fucking say they had a freak off like in the morning? They arrived. Now there's another freak off. So they had a freak off. Prosecution, why did you do it? I mean, why did she do it a million other times? Because she was scared he was going to beat her up, you know? Cassie, to make him not threaten me. Prosecution, let's read these from June 13th, 2013. Had Sean been violent with you before this? So I believe this is the same time frame that Diddy slapped Drake, and I'm only saying that because this is also the same time frame that she went to Drake's music festival. So I feel like he probably slapped Drake because of Cassie. I don't know why. I tried to Google it, but my internet wasn't working. Why did Diddy slap Drake? There's a widespread misunderstanding regarding a specific incident. I don't know why the fuck I can't search that. Anyways, Google's not working. Okay. Google's down, guys. Okay, so to make him not threaten me, Sean been violent with you before. Have you told him before you didn't want to do freak offs? Yes. You said you needed GHB. GHB, I believe, is it's a drug, obviously. I don't really know what it is though. GHB, I think GHB is what they're saying is what he used in the baby oil. What? Damn. Okay, guys. My Google's not working. I think probably Safari will work, but you guys can't see Safari right now. Let me see if I can just ask Safari, what is GHB? I don't know what's up with Google or Chrome. Thank God we're still streaming. So Safari saying GHB it's an illegal drug that acts as a nervous system depressant. It produces feelings of euphoria, relaxation, sociability. It's a substance found in the human brain in small amounts. It can also be made and sold illegally. Decrease anxiety, relaxation, drowsiness. It's clear, odorless, and colorless liquid. So I believe GHB is a substance that was in the baby oil, which is why he had a shit ton of baby oil. So anyways, okay. So you said you needed GHB. So Cassie needed this. So she starts becoming like, why did she stay? She's mentally unstable. Why she stay? I believe it's Stockholm syndrome. You know, you fall in love with your captor. That's just my opinion. You know, and also, yeah, I mean, I'm wondering, where was her family? You know, she did say that she was worried about the freak offs being leaked because her mother would find out and she would be supremely embarrassed and shamed. But if she was so worried about that, like, where was her family when these freak offs, she said, lasted days. Then she's like in a freaking like drug, recovery mode. when you're having withdrawals from a drug, you can't do shit. Like, you probably want to stay in a bedroom with all of the lights off. And so I don't know where her family was, and that's a good question. Like, how did she stay with this guy for so long? Like, how did she not get out? But I think it's has something to do with, like, just not seeing past your immediate surroundings. Like, he's paying for all of your stuff. And we showed earlier the footage of her inside the hotel, and even with the security guard from the hotel coming up to help her get her shit out, like, P Diddy, she got her stuff out, security guard came back, P Diddy took her stuff back again. So it took her multiple attempts to get away from him with the security guard present. So he was not letting her leave. I mean, he should be charged with kidnapping, honestly. Okay, so Cassie says, I wrote only Paul available. Okay, so obviously he wanted to do a freak off, guys. I mean, like, breaking news, P. Diddy wanted a freak off every freaking day of the week. She said, 2 escorts not available. Okay, so he always, it doesn't even sound like he was intimate with her. Like, he literally only watched. That's crazy. Okay. So Cassie, I wrote only Paul available. So Cassie tried to maintain a little bit of control by probably and trying to make herself feel a little bit better about the situation. Like, oh, okay, I get to pick the guy this time, And it's like, it's really sad because, like, that's not control. That's just you being a little bit delusional and disassociated. And they say when you're going through very traumatic shit, like, your brain will disassociate you to protect you. So she's feeling like, oh, we're doing this, but I get to pick the guy this time, but it's just a fucked up situation that she shouldn't even be in the first place. So now she's saying, oh, well, only Paul's available, or Jake, the white guy, but he can't do until 11. The other guy can do earlier. It's like, that's crazy how you could just swap out bodies like nothing. That's crazy. It's just one more person knowing your secret. Oh, yeah. So they probably had this little mini Rolodex that they could just cycle through. And that makes sense, but fuck, it sounds like a long ass list because they're doing this in every city that they're at. Like, how the fuck, like, how many people really were involved? And it sounds like at least 50 to 100 people that they were rotating through. Prosecution, what do you mean? Cassie, the freak offs. Prosecution, what is SLS? Cassie, a hotel in Hollywood. Prosecution, when would you take Valium before a freak off? Cassie, when I had anxiety. Sean's driver would bring me the Valium. It was Raheem, I think. Okay, so then they take a lunch break. Okay, so Miss Slavic is the prosecutor. The judge is asking her, are there still disagreements on the exhibits? So this was something that they're saying was a little bit dirty tactic that Diddy's team is doing. They're trying to submit evidence at the last minute. It's not getting vetted. They're usually, when you have exhibits, both sides kind of put all their shit in the pot, like, here's what I got, here's what I'm showing, here's what I'm showing. Everybody gets to look at it before court. Well, they're saying Diddy is trying to insert some new evidence that was never vetted. So that's kind of what they're talking about right now. Are there disagreements on the exhibits? Prosecution said yes. The defense wants the exhibit to be longer and about masturbation. Okay. I wish I was in this courtroom because these tweets are just not giving us enough information. That's like so left field. So defense, they wanted to cut it off at looking at my iPads. Okay, let me read that again. So the prosecution says, yes, there's disagreements. The defense wants the exhibit to be longer and about masturbation. I'm not sure if there's a typo because I don't know why they want the jurors to look at that. But okay, so the defense They wanted to cut it off at looking at my iPad. And I'm thinking maybe like text is between, I mean, I can only assume between Cassie and P. Diddy. And so defense. So this is Diddy's side. They haven't really been saying much, right? Because the prosecution, they're the ones that are questioning Cassie right now. So the defense, this is Diddy's team. We just heard this morning about videos on his devices, so this is relevant. Prosecution, we can agree to more, something less than 10 pages. And now, Hecker Fink for the witness known as Mia. So Mia, this is someone that no one knows who it is except the people inside the courtroom. This is not an acronym, but this is her pseudonym. So this is not her real name. This is victim 2. Basically to Jane Doe. I don't think people know who she is. Let me see. Victim to Mia P. Diddy. I believe this is a pseudonym. Okay, so on day 2, victim 2 was given the pseudonym Jane. Oh, victim 4 is referred to as Mia. So she's victim 4. Mia is victim 4, but that is not her real name. Okay, so let's see, where was I? For the witnesses known as Mia, he says there is a jury instruction about victims. Hecker Fink lawyer. Okay, so now there's these witnesses, they also have their own lawyers. So there's a lot of lawyers. Even the press has a lawyer in the courtroom. Like the press is in there fighting their rights for the public to be able to even have knowledge of what's happening. So there's a lot of like internal stuff going on inside this courtroom right now. Hecker Fink lawyer. So let me see who Hecker Fink is. Hecker Fink. Oh, that's just the name of the lawyer. So this lawyer is representing one of the victims. So I believe it must be victim 4's lawyer. So Mia would have taken this to her grave. I don't know how to support her if we can't discuss her pain, what she went through. We will not put words in her mouth. Her nerves are through the roof. So how is Cassie doing this so calm and collectively at 8 months pregnant? You know, like that. I really, really, really hope she takes some time to relax, because that is got to be so stressful for the baby. I wouldn't even be surprised if she goes into labor early. That's probably how stressful this situation is. And so now you have these other non-pregnant victims that they're even saying, how the fuck are we going to go on stand? I'm going to take this to the grave, but you have Cassie putting it all out there. So this victim, her lawyer is talking for her. We will not put words in her mouth. Her nerves are through the roof. So the judge says, we're trying to prevent witnesses being counseled. So they can't, the lawyer cannot tell Mia how to talk, what to say. He's not supposed to coach her. It's supposed to be for her truth, right? So the judge is telling the lawyer, you know, we can't counsel the victim. We can't tell her what to say. We can't tell her what not to say. Anything else, okay, would that be acceptable? So Mia's lawyer says, I'm afraid she'll have a moment, lose it, then ask me, did I forget something? I worry. Okay, so I mean, who knows what she's going to say? Like, it sounds like she's got a lot of damning testimony, because she's worried she's not going to say everything or leave something out. You know, she sounds super nervous. So now counsel, so the other lawyer for the Jane Doe, so I guess Jane Doe is victim 2. Also pseudonym, obviously that's not her real name, that's an alias. So a few of these victims, they're not gonna say who they are. So Jane Doe, I am worried that Jane Doe will not know what she can ask me. The judge says, as long as you don't coach testimony. So he's telling this lawyer the same thing, like you cannot coach her, you cannot give her any ideas on what to say. She's literally just going to be there just to answer questions. So Cassie's lawyer So Cassie's got a lawyer in the courtroom too. I mean, imagine how much money these lawyers are making. They're all racking up bills. Um, I have nothing to add. Okay, so the judge says, Miss Shapiro, we've spoken with each attorney. So Miss Shapiro, I believe, is Diddy's lawyer. Let me see. Shapiro, lawyer, Diddy. Is representing Sean Diddy Combs. So Alexandra Shapiro, a highly experienced appellate attorney, is representing Sean Diddy Combs, who I believe is the daughter for Shapiro, who represented OJ. So a lot of familiar people that know each other in the courtroom right now. Did I forget something? Okay, so they're telling P. Diddy's side, hey, we've spoken to all these lawyers. These are all these witnesses that are going to be speaking. All the lawyers have questions about the victims' testimonies. So I guess they're just letting the defense know. But the prosecution says we need more time to print the binders. And so they take a break. Okay, so now this is the second half. They're back. I guess they've been starting late, but that it is what it is. I guess court, that's just what happens. I can't imagine the chaos inside the room, trying to get everybody to come in, sit down. The jurors get to leave and come back, go to lunch. Like, it's a lot. So the judge starts off. As to Exhibit 619, the objection to the defendant's proposal is overruled. So the judge decides with the defense on an exhibit trying to be admitted at the last second. So P. Diddy gets a minor win, a minor W. He got his new evidence in, which they say is like really dirty that he did that. Like, usually both sides submit all of their evidence so both sides can kind of review it before it gets presented, but Diddy didn't do that. His team didn't do that. They waited to the last second, and the judge actually allowed it. So Diddy got a small W. I wonder what this exhibit is. So they bring Cassie back. So the jury comes back in. Prosecution says, I have a binder for the court. The gallery will not be able to see these exhibits. So they're saying the public, everybody sitting in the rows and the pews, they're not going to be able to see these pictures. They're not going to be able to see any of the photographs. Only the jury is going to see the graphic images. But from what I'm told, they are tweeting about the reactions the jury is having to seeing these images, and it's not good. Like, they're pretty appalled. So Miss Ventura, I will show you some exhibits. So Cassie is back on the stand. And they're saying, I'm going to show you, the prosecution's going to show her more, I think, pictures. Okay, so they're asking who's in it. Cassie says she worked for Sean. Prosecution, we will call her Mia. Mia, victim 4. This is a pseudonym. This is an alias. So they're showing Cassie a picture of victim 4 right now, who will be testifying on the stand at some point throughout this trial. So that's really interesting. Cassie was Diddy's girlfriend. So who else was he abusing around Cassie? These people actually worked, these women actually worked for P. Diddy. So not only was he treating Cassie like shit, he's treating his employees like shit. Okay, so it's crazy to think how much Diddy paid people to not say shit and how many people didn't show up. He was just bribing people left and right. He tried to bribe the security office inside of the Hotel Intercontinental. We found out he tried to give this guy a stack of money. The reason that video leaked from the Intercontinental, the video of P. Diddy whipping Cassie's butt in the hallway, is because this security guard did not take the bribe. He didn't take the bribe. He probably got paid. He probably got paid by CNN. But at least P. Diddy's going to go down for it, which, hey, I'm not mad at it. Yeah, so how much people he didn't pay. Yeah, paid not to stay. Yeah, exactly. He bribed a bunch of people, but not everybody gave into it. Thank God. I mean, that's the whole reason he's actually going to be charged for this, because not everybody played his game. He thought it was P Diddy's world and we're just living in it, but not anymore. It's like I don't think he's going to get out of this, guys. This is day 3, and the evidence is just it's just too damning. It's too damning. I mean, right now it's just like a lot of abuse, but they're putting these pieces together to show the overall coercion, overall manipulation, which is going to lead to the RICO charges, where you're masterminding this entire criminal organization, which, drugging people for your entertainment, and kidnapping. I mean, I think he literally, I don't know what the other word is, but he kept Cassie hostage essentially. Okay, so he's showing Cassie a photo of victim 4, who her alias is Mia in this trial. When you gave your devices to the government, were they working? Cassie says no, they were broken. So I don't know why they were broken. I mean, maybe Diddy broke them. So the attorney saying, put up this new exhibit for Miss Ventura and the jury only. So these pictures are not being shown to the people inside of the courtroom. Only the jury and Cassie can see these photos. What's on your skin? Cassie says oil, baby oil, 2,000 tons of baby oil. So prosecution says, when did Sean first hurt you publicly or physically? Sorry. Cassie says it started in the first year. So after she was with him for 10 years, this shit started in year 1. Like, damn, that would have been her time to freaking exit. Literally, when you see signs of abuse, that's the time to exit, not go further down the rabbit hole. I don't know how it racked up to 10 years, man. That's really crazy. So it started it started in year 1, and I think Cassie was only like 19. So she was very young and impressionable on top of it. I think he's like 20 years older than her, also, which that doesn't really matter because she was not a minor. But what is the age difference between? Sorry, you guys can't see my internet because Google is tripping. What is the age difference between Diddy and Cassie? Diddy is no way. Diddy is 31 years older than Cassie. What the fuck? I didn't know it was that much. Diddy is 30. Diddy is 31 years older than Cassie. Did you guys know that? My God. Why'd she stay? I think she stayed because she was a artist in the beginning. He's a mega producer. She was a model too, but he halted that career. She got no modeling gigs after she hooked up with Diddy. He would not allow it. He put her on a very tight leash, but I think that she fell in love with music. He produced that huge song, You and Me. That's a banger. Diddy produced that, and that's an old ass song. So that was in the very beginning of the relationship. He probably that was like a carrot, like he gave her a little bit of something in the beginning, but so she probably always yearned for that. Like, okay, he's probably going to produce more for me, if I could just, deal with a little bit more abuse. But he strung her along for 10 more years. I mean, because after that, she didn't really, I don't know if she even put another song out. Like, that's the only song I know of Cassie is You and Me. And I'm pretty sure Diddy, let me see. You and Me, Cassie, producer. That it has to be P. Diddy. Oh, it was written by Ryan Leslie. written and produced by Ryan Leslie, who she dated. She also dated Ryan Leslie, but that was before P. Diddy. And then that was basically it. That was the end of her career. I mean, as far as I know. Okay, so when it started in year one, prosecution, what staffers were present when Sean was physical with you? Defense. So the defense objects, Diddy's team objects, physical is vague. So the prosecution's like, oh, okay, we're vague. All right, well, let's get specific. See, that's why you got to be careful in some of your objections, like, because that shit will like just come back to blow up in your face. So now the prosecution's going to get specific. Let's make it very clear what he did to Miss Ventura instead of just keeping it vague. So they kind of fucked up on that one. So the prosecution, punching, hitting. So the prosecution, when did Sean first use violence on you? Cassie, in New York City, we were in a car with the security. She didn't give a year, which is weird. He didn't say where, he said when, but she says in New York City, we were in a car with the security and he knocked me around. Prosecution, what did he say? Cassie, he hit me in the side of the head. I fell to the floor of his Escalade. Prosecution, in January 2009, did you attend an event in LA with Sean? Okay, so January 2009, that was, gosh, that was like 15 years ago. So yeah, that makes sense. This is definitely beginning of their relationship because now she's been separated from him for like 6 years, I believe, by now. So that makes sense. So in January 2009, you attended an event in LA with Sean. Cassie says yes. Prosecution, what happened as you left? Cassie says, I'd been speaking to a producer about music. Sean called me a slut. I hit him in the face. So this is what the defense is going to try and use against her. They're going to try and use her own words against her. This is my prediction. And I believe people have already kind of alluded to this. The defense, Diddy's side, they're going to use this. They're going to say, Cassie was violent as well. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just Diddy. Cassie was throwing punches, which is unfair and fucked up, So, but she admits to this. She says Sean called her a slut, and so she punched him. And I had been drinking. Prosecution, did you see any injuries? No. So she didn't hurt him. I mean, I'm assuming she probably didn't even hit him that hard. Obviously I have Cassie's side, but oh, fuck. So then Diddy beats the shit out of her. So, I mean, obviously she didn't like hurt him because he just fucking goes in on her after that. So I was on the floor of the car. He stomped me on my face. Prosecution, how long did this last? 10 minutes. Then I tried to get away, but Sean's security brought me back. So the people working for P. Diddy, they're like his minions. They're like, hey, go get that girl, bring her back. I mean, I can't imagine, like, on top of the guy you're dating, the people around him are also controlling you, dragging you back. If they're security guards, they're in shape, and you're a young girl, you don't have the strength to even fight against 3 grown ass men. So, okay, so they try to get away, but Sean's security brought me back. Okay, so prosecution, who? Cassie. Roger Bonds. Prosecution, what did they tell me? What did they tell me? Oh, what did they tell you? Cassie, go to a hotel. So Cassie says they snuck me into the hotel, covered up so no one could see my face. Oh my God, he must have beat the fuck out of her if she's like got bruises on her face already, like when it just happened. Like if you get hit that hard, yeah, your face is going to swell up pretty quick. That's pretty fucked up. So prosecution, how long were you at the London hotel? Cassie, a week, a little more. An assistant brought me ice cream. Cassie, what was the assistant's name? Ventura Genevieve. So they're saying there is a person involved that was working for Diddy, for Diddy, who they are comparing to Ghislaine Maxwell, which that is a terrible look. Ghislaine Maxwell was the sugar mama for Jeffrey Epstein. So the way that Jeffrey Epstein used a woman to kind of lure in people and get what he wanted out of them, P. Diddy also had a woman working on his behalf. And I think this is the woman actually. So prosecution, did you feel you could leave the London hotel? Cassie, no, I understood his capability, his access to guns, the threats he made. Yeah, I would be scared. I would be scared if I'm dating a man and they're carrying a gun. Yeah, I would totally be scared. Prosecution, when were you taken to the hotel after the assault? Cassie says no. That's weird. I think this guy's like mistyping this because that's not a yes or no. Prosecution, did you know that this assault incident was reported? Cassie, I knew there was a blind item on the internet without our names. Oh, damn. Cassie, who raised the blind item to you? Prosecution said that. I mean, Cassie, my mother. So P. Diddy's team, objection, prosecution, not for the truth. And the judge overrules it. So they let the prosecution ask this question and they keep it on record. So Cassie says, this was before FaceTime was very popular, so I could hide myself. She asked if it was me. Oh, so her mom, I wonder what year this was. Her mom started questioning shit. And so Cassie denies it. I did not want my mother to know something of that magnitude and be in danger. So prosecution, when you went to a party with your girlfriends, what happened? Cassie, I saw executives from BET. Then I heard that Sean was there. Prosecution, what did you do? Cassie, I left. I ran out as fast as I could. Prosecution, why? Cassie, I thought he was angry. So, prosecution, did he come to the hotel where you were staying? Cassie, yes, he beat me up and he called me names. My face was bruised. I think she had just gotten her ass kicked before that, and now she's getting her ass kicked again. Fuck, man, that's a lot of beatings. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how she stayed through that, man. I mean, where was her support system? This is a lot. This is sounding like year one. This is a lot. Um, So this photo, who is it? Scott Miss Cuddy. So the infamous Kid Cudi incident, Diddy set Kid Cudi's car on fire because of Cassie. We dated in 2011. Okay, we dated in 2011. So I don't know how she dated him if she was seeing Sean. Maybe she was trying to separate, but he just didn't let her. Yeah, because you know what? That makes sense because P. Diddy was also dating like J-Lo publicly, and then Kim Porter, his deceased baby's mom. So that may have been around the same time. So she started dating Kid Cudi. Prosecution, did Sean find out? Cassie, yes, and my phone. Cassie, Sean went through my phone during a freak off, not freak out, or I don't know. Maybe he was freaking out, or was he freaking off? Those are the two modes of Diddy: freak off or freak out. Like one's like he's in the corner lurking, and the other one he's like yelling at you. He found an email. Prosecution about what? Cassie, taking my toiletry bag to Scott's the next day. Sean put a wine opener in his hand and threatened me. I called Scott on a burner phone. Damn, what an asshole. See, That's scary. That's scary because you could stab somebody with that. That's no joke. So prosecution, where did you go? Cassie to Scott's house. That's Kid Cudi. Went to Kid Cudi's house. Then I talked with Capricorn Clark, one of Sean's assistants. Prosecution. Then what? Cassie, I went to the house Sean was staying at. He told me he would release videos and hurt Scott and I. So he's again, anytime she would like separate, he threatens to release the revenge corn with a P, if you know what I mean. She never wanted these videos to be released, so it made her always kind of fall back in line if he would threaten her that way, I think. So the prosecution, what videos? Cassie, freak off videos of me. Cassie, Sean kicked me in the back. I got a bruise. Prosecution, where did you go? Cassie, to my hotel with the burner phone. The room was torn up. Someone peed all over the floor and pooped in the toilet and didn't flush it. That's some Amber Heard bullshit. Amber Turd, Johnny Depp. It was gross. Oh, that's so disgusting. Ugh, that was just before Christmas. So, Cassie, I sent an email to my mom in Capricorn for my flight to Boston and Connecticut. Prosecution, what did you write? So, okay, so she's telling her mom, Sean said he would release the tape of me and on Christmas, and he'd had Scott and I hurt. He said he would be out of the country then. So prosecution, what are these photographs? Cassie, my mother took out there in Connecticut of the bruises on my back. Okay, so her mom finds out. What did her mom do at this point? Like, that's crazy. Prosecution, where were you and were you entirely honest with your mother about the abuse? Cassie, no, I said this was the first time. Prosecution, did you tell her about the freak offs? No. Cassie, is it possible to take a break? Oh, poor thing. She's like 8 months pregnant. Okay, they're back. Judge Miss Johnson, any estimate? An hour more. The goal is to finish the direct and allow the start of cross examination. Okay, so they're supposedly P. Diddy's team is supposedly gonna jump in. They're gonna try and get that started today, bring the witness and the jury back in. Okay, so we're gonna go back because this was like a full thread just from that. So supposedly P. Diddy is starting to okay, so supposedly P. Diddy's starting to chime in. So my face was bruised. Okay, so that's broke it off. Okay, so prosecution did still continue on with Cassie. Okay, so jury comes back. Did anyone come to see you in Connecticut? Yeah, Cassie. Scott did for a few days. I broke it off with him. It was too dangerous. Defense objection. Judge overruled. Cassie, Sean said he would hurt both of us. Prosecution, where did you go after Connecticut? Cassie, I went to see Sean. He was in Arizona, his son, college. I told my mother I was going to LA for work. Prosecution, did Sean talk about Scott's car? Oh shit. So they're gonna talk about the arson incident with Kid Cudi. P. Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. Cassie, Sean said he wanted Scott's friend to see Scott's car. He wanted Scott's friends to see Scott's car blown up. This arson is named in the Diddy indictment. They use this piece as just to show the intimidation Diddy was kind of projecting to people. And this incident is named within the indictment against Diddy. So now they're getting testimony about this incident specifically, which is this is really kind of like the details of the case right here. So prosecution, what happened next? Cassie, we met Sean, Scott, and me. Scott said, "What about my vehicle?" Sean said, "What vehicle?" And that was the end of the meeting. Fuck. He didn't admit to shit. Prosecution put up the photo. What is this? Cassie, me, and Sean in Kingston, Jamaica for Sound Clash. So it sounds like that's when Kid Cudi exited left. He was like, you know what? I don't think this relationship's going to work out because your ex-man is psycho. And he was like, I see you. I see you when you're single, Cassie. Because that's what it sounds like. Because now she's back with Sean in Vegas, or no, Jamaica. Prosecution, were you bruised? Cassie, yes. Prosecution, and this photo, what is it? Cassie, me and Sean's bathroom, 2015. So this is like 6 years into the relationship. Prosecution, what were you doing there? Cassie, recuperating from being beat up by Sean in Las Vegas. Cassie, we were having an after party in our suite. I talked to a producer and Sean tapped me on the shoulder, called me into our room and beat me, kicked me as I tried to hide behind the toilet. What a fucking asshole. Prosecution, D-Rock and James Cruz came in. So James Cruz must have been one of the security guards or bodyguards for P. Diddy, who is going to testify against P. Diddy. So all these people he was paying off, they didn't do anything. That money is spent. Now they are turning on P. Diddy and they're going to be on the prosecution side. I really want to hear what James Cruz has to say. It sounds like he has a lot of dirt on Diddy. So Cassie, it made D-Rock sad. Prosecution, what are these communications? Cassie, from D-Rock to me, he says, where you at? It's time to ice your face. Damn. Prosecution, why? Cassie, I've just been beaten up by Sean. Prosecution, were these all the times he beat you? Cassie, no, there were more. Prosecution, with who else did you see Sean be violent? Cassie, I saw him drag an assistant out of bed. I saw him punch Eli in his head one time in Turks and Caicos. He dragged a person. Cassie, I believe we had a freak off in Turks and Caicos. Prosecution, what floor did you live on in 875 Comstock? Cassie, 17th floor. Prosecution, did a friend stay with you? Cassie, yes. Sean came and held her and threw her on the patio furniture out on the balcony. So I know there's a story of someone he actually dangled over a balcony as well. Kind of similar to the legend of Vanilla Ice being hung over by allegedly Suge Knight. I don't know, but supposedly P. Diddy also did that. I wonder if this is the person. So Cassie, I saw Sean bring her back in from over the balcony, then throw her on the patio furniture. Prosecution, and Carrie Morgan. Cassie, I saw Sean hit her in the head. Prosecution, did you get drugs on your own? Cassie, occasional drug dealers, opiates, Xanax, Valium. Cassie, Sean would put the pills in a vitamin C bottle and sink in the New York apartment. He'd say, you can take him. He had doctors who wrote the scripts in the name of an assistant or my name. Prosecution, your brother's birthday party in Connecticut in 2013, what happened? Cassie, my mother told me someone was taking pictures of me and I went and punched her in the head. Prosecution, you testified your relationship. They switched topics real quick. They're like, we're not trying to hear you doing violence because that's what the defense is going to use. They're going to use that as ammo. They're going to say that Cassie was violent. But There's no way, man. The small little punch she did to Diddy, like she should have did way more, and that does not, you know, it didn't hurt him. So that's like stupid. So yeah, they changed the subject really quick. Prosecution. You testified your relationship with Sean ended in 2018. How was your health? Okay, so yeah, it ended 7 years ago. That's what I thought. It's been over for many, many years now. Cassie, I was sleepwalking. I had post-traumatic syndrome. I don't know what that stands for, but that's what that means. You guys know what that means, PTSD. Defense, objection. So P. Diddy's lawyers object to her saying that. The judge overrules it, so they don't care. Prosecution, what's this? Cassie, a photo of my front door in 2018. Prosecution published it to the jury. Why is there a knife there? Cassie, Sean was coming around a lot, so I had it. Okay, so they break up and she's got PTSD and she has a knife near her to protect her, I'm assuming. Prosecution, August 2018, what happened? Cassie, we were having a closure conversation at a restaurant in Malibu. He was trying to convince me to go to Burning Man. So she ends it. And just like the cycle of abuse, this man comes back around and Diddy's trying to lure her back in and say, hey, let's go to Burning Man. Like, why the fuck would I want to go to Burning Man with you? You fucking asshole. Prosecution, were you seen anymore? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Cassie says, my now husband. So Alex Fine, her now husband, who Cassie is pregnant with his third child, now they're bringing him up. So I wonder what they say about him. Prosecution, what happened next? Cassie, Sean came to my house and raped me on my living room floor. His eyes were black. It was like taking something from you. Yeah, that guy, his eyes, he's a freaking like he has evil inside of him. Prosecution, you cried. What did Sean do? Cassie, he continued and finished inside of me. Then he got up and left. Oh my God. That is what a jerk. I mean, more than that, but prosecution, did you ever have sex with him again? Cassie, yes, voluntarily. We had a good night. So this is like the whole relationship. He's not having sex with her. He's hiring other people to have sex with her, but now he's trying to woo her back. So she she falls for it. That's just like the cycle of abuse. Cassie, yes, voluntarily. We had a good night. Went back to his house. Prosecution, can you explain why you did this after he raped you? Cassie, we had been together for 10 years. Prosecution, why did you stay and who did you stay in touch with? Cassie, most people, though I pulled away. So he's probably talking about like his entourage, like, because you were with him for 10 years, you're around these other people for 10 years as well. Prosecution, what did you message Sean about after that? Cassie, just checking in. So she's trying to develop some sort of casual friendship with him. Like she's like, oh, just checking in. Like that's, but bad habits die hard, or habits die hard. It's very hard when you're just you're going through the motions and then that's your routine. I always say people are um, creatures of habit, like you fall into a routine. It doesn't matter how toxic it is. So it's ended. And then now she's like texting him casually, oh, just checking in. Prosecution says, what did he send to you? Oh, so see, and now his evil side comes out. So you can't expect a person to look back, an abuser to look back with empathy and be like, fuck, I shouldn't have treated her like shit for 10 fucking years. I'm a changed man now. Like that shit didn't happen. So he's already threatening her, saying he had iPads full of images and get him his money. Like, because he realizes he didn't have control over her anymore. So now he's mad. He's not mad. He's not going to be nice. He's not going to like, you know, try and make amends. Now he's just going to threaten her because he doesn't have any other way to control her because it was never about love. It was always about control. Prosecution, money back for what? Yeah, exactly. Cassie, for having paid my now husband to be my trainer. Oh, shit. Yeah, so that's what happened. He got her a trainer, and that trainer freaking was her Superman, and he helped Cassie leave P. Diddy. That is crazy. Prosecution, what did you write back? Cassie, do you want me to tell the truth? It's much deeper than iPads. There was abuse, more than freak offs. I mean, I don't know how much more abusive you can get off of that. I mean, yeah, I mean, the physical abuse for sure, but that the freak offs are very violating. It just how do you, her husband must be a saint. You know, thankfully she has some angels because to have a loving partner just help you escape that, and now he's your emotional support, and the amount of years it's going to take for her to kind of, you know, get over that. Like her husband is a godsend. Um, so Cassie, there was a time I couldn't take the pain. I tried to walk out in traffic. My husband wouldn't let me. Oh shit. Yeah. So she was definitely traumatized, you know, even though she has this good man beside her now, like that doesn't erase all the emotions she has to process. I had trauma therapy. Prosecution, did you write, Cassie, a book with chapters? My mom helped. Cassie, or prosecution, what did you want with the book? For Sean to read it. Like Sean's never gonna understand. He's never gonna get it. He's the abuser. He's never gonna see her side. He's never gonna be remorseful. Like even that apology video he did was like just still woe is me. Like you know, he did it just to save face. So she's writing this book now, like to she's still kind of under his control in a way. Prosecution, what pain did Sean put you through? Cassie, shame. To carry the things that were shameful for him. I took on a lot of responsibility for that I never should have. He brought the concept to me when I was 22. It was expected of me. I felt terrible. So she went through this in her early 20s. Like that is a really like critical time in your life. Now she's probably late 20s or maybe early 30s, and that's a huge chunk of your life to be abused like that in a very critical time in your life. So, man, that shit, that definitely has changed her entire future. A prosecution, how did you get chapters to Sean? Wow, she really did want him to read it. Cassie, through my attorney, and I reached out to KK. I asked her if he read it. She said it was not taken seriously. Yeah, he didn't give a fuck. Prosecution, how much did you ask for the book? Oh, okay. So she was using it as leverage. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense. More sense. So she wanted 30 million. I guess she was doing an entire like expose on this relationship. And okay, so that's what made her sue. She wanted 30 million or she was going to drop this book, which, you know, he he didn't get away with that, right? Everything was exposed. She did win. She did get paid a crazy amount. They're saying six figures, which is multi-millions. Um, prosecution, did you sue? Yeah, she sued in November 2023. Um, prosecution, what happened with the lawsuit? Is settled for 20 million in 24 hours. Oh, okay. 20 million. Yeah, that was like that infamous, it was the quickest settlement ever. He wrote it, he dropped a check like nothing. Prosecution, why are you testifying in this trial? Exactly. She's already got her money. Why are you testifying? Cassie, I can't carry this. Is her closure, guys. I can't carry this anymore. What's wrong is wrong. I tried people like they were disposable. Escorts, anybody. Prosecution. So she's like kind of blaming herself right now in a way, which is really sad, you know. She's like she feels a little bit of accountability for all this destruction that she's witnessed, that she kind of she definitely just got sucked into. Like she didn't like make any of this happen. P. Diddy did. Um, Prosecution, how many freak offs did you have with Sean? Cassie, impossible to know, hundreds. I mean, fuck, they were doing it 5 times a week for 10 years. I mean, that's like probably like a million freak offs, a million. Impossible to know, hundreds. Prosecution, after you broke up with Sean, did you ever do a freak off? Cassie, no. Prosecution, no further questions. Sidebar before cross. Oh shit. So they're gonna let P. Diddy's team question Cassie next. It's already 5 p.m. in New York. I would think that they're gonna start doing that tomorrow. They are having a sidebar. That was 35 minutes ago though. So let me see. Maybe they do continue. Oh, here we go. Jury's out. Why don't we put off the cross until tomorrow? We'd like to start now. Oh shit. So the prosecution wants I guess they're trying to like squeeze this in because this shit's gonna take weeks. So they're probably trying to use up every single minute that they have. So they ask Combs's lawyer, Estavo. She will be finished by the end of the week, judge, so no cross today. Judge Subramanian will just make up the time in other ways, get the jury, prosecution. So Cassie gets off the stand for now. Next up, she will be questioned by Diddy's side, and they have to be very delicate. They cannot come at her. This is not a typical case where the defense gets to rip a witness to shreds. It will not be a good look for the jury. They have to be very delicate. She's 8 months pregnant. She just freaking went through 10 years of abuse she experienced. Just describe that. She is one of the only people not using an alias. All these other victims that are testifying, they're using pseudonyms, aliases. Cassie is putting her name out there, her face out there. And like she just said, she wants to tell her truth. And she's super brave. So the witness can be excused. Sorry to bring you out, only to send you home. Don't read anything about the case. So let's just see these last kind of comments they make before they end the day. We believe we had agreed that other sexual acts by the witness were not admissible, but we understand that they intend to cross-examine her about other relationships with texts, about sex, about Miss Ventura fucking someone else. Why is that necessary? So the prosecution is asking the judge, like, why is the defense telling us that's what they're going to be questioning Cassie about? Prosecution, I don't want to read these in the record, so I'll hand copies up. And the judge asks P. Diddy's side, what say you? Combs' lawyer, these are messages about jealousy and the vocabulary of you're fucking that person. That's fair game. This is the real world way people express hurt. So yeah, they're trying to say this was a relationship, but this was a screwed up, distorted relationship. It's not normal. It's not typical. And hopefully the people on the jury aren't in fucked up relationships, because there is a lot of fucked up people, especially in the entertainment industry, right? And especially like these showmances. This kind of falls on the line of showmans. They were very public. You try and keep the dirty details of your personal life private, but For normal people, this isn't how you are in a relationship. So his defense is like, "Oh, it was consensual. This is how we were." That that doesn't mean shit. That definitely doesn't make it right. So they're trying to say, "Oh, there's just because we're showing the jealousy between them. This is how people express themselves when they're hurt." So I don't think the jury is that stupid. They can't be that stupid. So the prosecution, the rule requires that this be sealed, judge. Let's proceed without specifics. P. Diddy's lawyer saying, are you so they're explaining why they're asking that. It's just a vulgar way of asking, are you cheating? Both sides opened on infidelity. Judge, we could do it in the robing room. The defendant would have to be present. Counsel for victim one would like to be heard. So counsel for lawyer for Cassie, but Cassie is victim one. So Wigdor is Cassie's lawyer. We are entitled to notice. So tomorrow, adjourned. Story coming with extra. Okay, that's Inner City Press. Dude, I hope you guys, are interested in this case. I just went through the entire thread of what happened today, what Cassie expressed during her testimony. I'll jump on tomorrow. But yeah, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you